Namaskar. This is Nagraj, as have been introduced, the artistic director of an NGO called Articulate Ability. I have not prepared to talk in sequence, but I think I'm going to flash out some random thoughts. Number one, when you see somebody who are challenged, and we normally refer them as handicapped people, we also find some boards we say for handicapped. I would like to remove the word handicap because it really does not apply to them. The word, the etymology of this word comes from somebody having a hat in their hand. See, it's a usual scene, especially in the Western countries near the railway stations or the bus stations. There'll be somebody standing with a hat in their hand, and that means they're standing there expecting people to put some money into it. So, blandly saying, it's called begging. These people who are differently abled, who are challenged, who have certain physical limitations, you cannot call them handicapped because all of them do not go out on streets to beg. What else do they do? It's also said, oh, when they are lost one of the senses, God has given them the other senses. That's not true. Don't give the credit to God. Give the credit to God for having taken away one of the perspection, one of the perception. But it is these people who have enhanced whatever senses they have. They enhance that. That's what exactly I think every young person has to do. If you have some weakness, don't focus on the weakness. Focus on the plus points you have, and that will raise you much, much higher in your life. Another random thought, when we were performing for a college here, and many schools and colleges in United Kingdom, in United States, we gave the performance very similar to what we are going to present now. After the performance, when I asked for young people to write a note of what they felt, I found one of the notes saying, I am a 17-year-old young girl. My parents are employed in the IT sector. I never get to see them at home. Even on weekdays, the company has provided them laptops so they can work even in the bedrooms. All I get is my maidservant to cook for me and keep it the cold breakfast, lunch, and dinner when I have to have that cold stuff, go to school and come back and eat the cold stuff even in the evening. This is very killing for me. I need to interact with people. I need some sort of socialization. My parents have given me enough money. I have been given a automobile to go to, a scooter to go to the school and college. But there is something which I am losing, something which I am missing. That human touch, that human interaction. I felt very depressed. I could not talk with my other friends because they will think there's something wrong with this girl. I couldn't even go to my teachers, like how good motivators are here. Unfortunately, she did not have in her school, regular school, and she thought there's no point in talking to the teachers. They are not interested in anything other than academy. I did not want even to go to consult doctor, psychiatrist, because other people will think there's something wrong with me. I tried committing suicide by slitting my wrist. Unfortunately, the maid walked in and saved my life, took me to the hospital, and I was bandaged. Today, when I saw these visually challenged people perform, I said, what's the problem I have? I have no problem at all. When I learned the stories of each of these blind men, the difficulties they had to pass through, and much against all these odds, how did they deal with facts of life, facts of circumstances, and still the perseverance, the dedication, the persuasion paid. And what is geometrically precise movements of Indian classical dance, if they could master the movements despite visually challenged for all the visually able people to enjoy, Don't you think that's something wonderful and fantastic to emulate, to realize the stories behind them? Let me lead you into their performance. I have just put for specially for you a segment of the Abhinaya where much of hand gestures are used, which are the identity of Indian classical dance of Bharatanatyam, and also a technical composition towards the end to drive home the point that they too can do what others can do. Do not look at our disability, look at our ability. Ladies and gentlemen, the artist of articulate ability, visually challenged. I would like to take just another 2 minutes for them to acclimatize the stage. The wonderful speaker I was listening to was mentioning about the memory. This is instant memory. Every time they go to a different platform to perform, but it is there, they measure out with number of steps. Get the feel, get the ambience, get the environmental limitations they have. Memorize it immediately and restructure the already choreographed movements for them and execute as perfect as expected. We had a small tragedy yesterday that one of the dancers who is totally blind, he just stepped out. I think it is safer to walk on the road than walking on the pavements in the city of Bangalore. And he twisted his ankle and he was unable to come. And then the last minute adjustment and re-choreographing, that is what you should be really wondering about. And still, they're here for your entertainment. So, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy this wonder. Let the music start. Ganesh Dwadasha Stotra combined with Tilana.
एकदन्तं द्वितीयकम् तृतीयं कृष्णपिङ्गाक्षं गजवक्त्रं चतुर्थकं लम्बोदरं पञ्चमं च षष्ठं विकटमेव च सप्तमं विघ्नराजं च धूम्रवर्णं तथाष्टकं नवमं बालचन्द्रं च दशमं तु विनायकम् एकादशं गणपतिं द्वादशं तु गजाननम् द्वादशैतानि नामानि त्रिसन्ध्यं यः पठेन्नरः न च विघ्नाभयं तस्य सर्वसिद्धिकरो प्रभो 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 तनदीं दिरनधीतां तां नारदीं तदिरना दीं तदीं 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 तनदीं दिरनधीतां तां नारदीं तदिरना सृष्टिकर्ता जगत्पित्रे वाणी प्रिय मनोहरा सृष्टिकर्ता जगत्पित्रे वाणी प्रिय मनोहरा प्रीतिकारक महाविष्णु लक्ष्मी
The round of applause should not stop here. Enthralling performance. As I told you, the curtain raiser was much more important. We are actually floating a cordless mic to you. If any one of you have any question to ask about this performance, the preparation, the synergy, please. The gentleman is here. He is all round to answer your questions. Please, any of you have anything to ask?
By the time the microphone reaches any one of you who are interested to ask questions, very briefly answered, I would like to say, Bangalore has been declared the suicide capital of India. We should erase this tag attached to the city by being motivated by these people who at once in their lifetime did contemplate suicidal. But they had good mentors along with them, like you have from the Allen, that they gave a sense of direction of achievement. And today they're alive, perfecting the art of the complex classical art and presenting before you to motivate you. If you have any questions, let me briefly answer them. Do not hesitate, there are no silly questions at all. Yes, I can.
Yes.
You told that one of the dancer met with the accident, some minor accident, and you have adjusted all the things. They have measured with their legs and all. Can you explain about that? How did they perform without that one other person? They managed with these 4 members managed to do. They didn't manage actually. They did fantastic. They really awesome. Can you explain
round of
about that
applause.
without that one performer?
Thank you. Thank you. Actually, when we as normal people learn the dance, the teacher shows the movement and they visually capture the movement and try to repeat the movement. But since they're visually challenged, they use the method called tactile perception method. Tactile means to touch, perception is to understand, and that method they have used to touch, but also audio perception method. They listen to the ankle bells which they wear during the performance, and they make instant on stage measurements how far they are from each other. And even the absence of one of them, they know that there has to be a ghost person there, and they can evaluate the distance they have to maintain, and they continue to perform. There were certain times when especially when Mr. Guru Prasad on the extreme left, who is totally blind, he was supposed to be on the center line, but he had the sense of presence that it will be an offset when on the center line if there are 2 people there and 1 person on the left and only himself on the center. But he moved a couple of steps to his left and right to maintain the balance. These are all intuitive adjustments under situation and circumstances, which all of us can develop. It's not just a question of dance and movements. It is even in your daily activity, moment to moment, you can awaken that intuitive perception and then have faith, have trust in yourself, and you will surely succeed.
Anybody else?
Yes? I can hear you, yeah.
Can somebody take the microphone to the lady, please?
I can repeat the question, yeah. As a parent,
and gain strength from that. With our experience, with my experience working with young children and with my own children,
yeah.
it is very difficult to practice. And I think as humans, we have the most difficulty even when we grow. not to look at our negatives. So how you have worked so beautifully, and how we can actually practically motivate not only ourselves and our children to do that.
Yeah. Precisely your question is being parents of seemingly normal children, and how do we go ahead with so much of negativity to be suppressed and only the positive which you have failed
Yes.
many times. I might differ from some of the concept of Alan that keep your goal. Yes, you need goal, but don't keep it very, very high with an unreachable goal or unreasonable goals. But let us keep little goals which we can achieve sooner. Now, as we give them tasks, like how we have given them the basic task of understanding the mudras, understanding the body language, we did not give them that you should perform next week. We gave them a small goal. They reached the goal, and when they reached it, they were confident, hey, I can do it. It's not difficult. I thought it was difficult. Then you give a sense of appreciation, and then say, okay, now you have reached. Now, let me take you to a little higher. So it's a step-by-step, a progressive achievement of the goals without putting a huge goal that which becomes a burden on their head. And they get scared. That's one of the methods we have employed, that let's go step by step. So like little goals, reach, take them higher.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Captivating performance with inspiring words and the planning which goes into it. I request you all to clap by the time they take to the backstage and they go back to the green room. And we proceed ahead with our next program.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir.
Before leaving the stage, let me introduce the artists. We have Shiva Swami, Guru Prasad, Satisha Rao, and Taraka Ramudu. Helping these, like his own brother, is Lakshmi Narayan Jaina, and coordinating for this wonderful people, Mysore B. Nagaraj.